Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
Hey, and this is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer at salesbread.com. You got it. Today, we've got a game that I like to play. It's called Let's Make a Sale today. That's sort of.
I prefer Among Us, but fine. No, I'm kidding.
I prefer what?
Among Us. It's a small game where we kind of backstab each other, and it's funny. Anyway.
Well, this game I had to play recently. I wanted to see if I could drum up new business in a single day, and I did. And I wanted to share the process because it was pretty helpful for prioritizing leads and how you might actually go after closing something in a single day. And I had to bring this up to you, Jeremy, because you, unlike anyone else I know, should have a lot to say on the topic, at least an interesting discussion.
Oh man, you're putting the pressure on me.
I am. But before we dive in,
I was hoping to learn from you, Jack. What the hell?
That's okay. I will share all the stuff. Not to worry.
Okay.
But first, a word from our sponsors.
Yeah. Who are they?
Today, the show is brought to you by two lovely sponsors. The first is salesbread.com. Why? Because today, most B2B businesses lack the time or expertise to turn those cold prospects into warm, sales qualified leads. So salesbread.com will bring you one lead per day using ultra personalized cold emails and LinkedIn messages so that you don't have to do it. Head over to salesbread.com/contact. Tell us what you're working on, who you're selling to, and at the very least, you'll leave with some good ideas. Check us out.
Yeah, sounds great. I was hoping for a VPN commercial, but no, it was salesbread.com. And the next one is quickmail.io, which you can check out at quickmail.io. It's a great tool for automating your cold outreach. We have great deliverability features, including auto warmer, which you could use for free. Head over to quickmail.io.
Simple enough. Okay, back to our game, Jeremy.
Yes.
I want to close a sale today. What do I do? And keep in mind, at SalesBread, we sell, I'm not going to say like the largest ticket items, but it's not an e-commerce product add to cart. And it's a meaningful purchase, right? So to make a sale in one day can seem daunting, especially you might be listening thinking, hey guys, I have a 3-week like sales cycle. That's not really possible for me, but it is. And by the end of the cast, I think you'll agree with me. If not, reach out at podcast@quickmail.io. But I really think you're going to side with me here.
Okay.
And it comes down to answering this first question is like, who can you reach out to that's going to say yes today? That's the holy grail question. And I take a lot of notes on a Moleskine. And I kind of categorized, yeah, thanks, Moleskine. No, I kind of listed the people that I could be reaching out to, and I came up with sort of an interesting layer to this group of leads that I could reach out to, right? So, and it looks like this. It's like an inverted pyramid, right? So I'm just going to dive through what it is, but Jeremy, if you want to stop me now.
No, please go ahead.
Okay.
I'll throw some jokes in as if I can.
Okay, just even better. So it looks like an inverted pyramid where it's a funnel, right? And at the top, I'm putting at the very top, we've got prospects, ice cold prospects that have not been qualified and maybe have not even been like triple check that they're a good fit for SalesBread.
Right.
Okay. And we'll put them at the top. That group, I'm not saying I can't get business from them, but today I don't think they're going to say yes right now and put money in my, Stripe account, whatever. So let's go one level lower. So these might be a qualified prospects where we've manually looked up their company, their team, their whatever. We know that they're a great fit and we've triple checked stuff beyond what the data gave us. Still, they don't know SalesBread. Maybe they do, but probably will need to do a lot of trust building before they hand over company credit cards. So let's go a level deeper. We could use intent data to show us companies that are currently looking for lead generation services. Okay, now we're getting a little bit better, but we still need to sell them on SalesBread, we still need to do that trust building. If I am new to them, I don't think they're going to close today. They're a great list to pursue, but to play the game, let's close the sale today, I still want to go deeper.
Let me guess. The next level is people on your mailing list.
No.
Oh, damn.
No. Damn.
Too fast.
Too fast. So there's another layer. This is my website traffic. So they haven't, right? You see, they haven't signed up for my newsletter yet, but they are coming to my website. So I could put a banner and say,
that's right.
Flash sale, sign up right now and you're going to get whatever. I mean, I could.
For the next 10 minutes.
I might, but I think that would take some kind of promotion and creativity that I'm not really up for testing. It's too risky.
It sounds fun for me. I should do something like 10 minutes. And, when you refresh, the timer doesn't actually change. It's like whatever is the time left. And it's that like, would be shit. Good. Is there something?
But, yeah. And okay. But I think we both kind of are like, yeah, that's a little bit of a,
of course,
one layer down. Okay. So let's next go to my email subscribers.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is everybody in the list. And if you're listening and you're not on my newsletter, number one,
you should.
Come on. What? So head over, go to SalesBread. There's a little newsletter thing at the bottom. Sign up. I put my best stuff and good stuff from the pockets, whatever. So I could send a blast to everyone on my list. That's the next list.
Okay.
And now we're at a level where we're probably in the realm of possibility.
I got another level. Can I try it?
Yeah, please.
Someone who already purchased from you.
Oh, Jeremy, are you going to the bottom of our pyramid
I'm already? At the bottom.
No.
Damn it. I'm going too fast.
Not quite at the bottom, but towards the bottom. Let's carry on. So I could then analyze my email subscribers and find out who's most engaged with me lately. And that'd be really good. I could do a step further and say, email subscribers engage with me today. Who has gone to my services page today?
More chances. Yeah.
Now I could do a couple things. I could send an email to that person. That person would qualify for a call.
Yeah, ideally you have the phone.
Right.
If you want today, otherwise it's going to be more difficult by email.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so let's go down again. Okay, Jeremy. So do I have 100% close rate? No, I don't. I wish I did. I don't have 100% close rate, but that means I have had people that talked to Jack, heard the pitch and said,
not now.
I'm going to need some more time. I got to go to my co-founder, whatever. Something happened. They didn't close.
I love those ones because you could come back to them and say, hey, look, no pressure. I know we talked last month. I happen to have just one new spot. Absolutely no pressure, but, just wanted to give you a go before I go, and ask someone else.
Right. So with this list,
but it has to be today.
not even. I took this list of people that needed more time.
No, I say what you say to the other person. I have one spot, no pressure, but it has to be today if you want to make that sales today.
No, I understand.
Okay,
and let me share what I did because it isn't completely not that. I took a list of how many people was it? I don't know, 10 people, something that I've spoken to recently within 6 weeks, and they needed some more time. So I went through 10 and I just sent a really simple follow-up message that was kind of like, it's been a couple of weeks since we last spoke. Any interest to talk about working together or now or next quarter or whatever? Something not so putting the pressure on. I put the pressure on in the next level down. And I did get a positive response, but they didn't close that day. They did close, but it doesn't count me as a win for my game. So I had to go a layer below.
Okay.
All right. So this is
when it's people who already purchased from you. I'm not quite.
Past clients. Yes. Past clients is another low-hanging fruit group that you could reach out to today and probably get a sale.
I got another one as well.
That wasn't it. Yeah. Let's keep going. Because I did do some outreach. There's one more group that we haven't mentioned. This is current clients.
Oh man, I got it. That's also what I was thinking. Upsells. Right.
Upsells. That's
Yeah.
right. And so we had wins from the upsell group of current customers, and the past call hasn't made a decision yet. And I won the game when I closed the sale from that group, and it was really cool. But it made me rethink the value of a row in your database, in your CRM, if you will, and where to go if it's really important to make a sale immediately.
It does. It's super important. The other thing that I'm thinking, and you have to stop me if I'm digressing too much, but I think a certain number of things needs to be in place for that to happen. Like a really good offer, for example, needs to be happening.
Right.
Effectively, hot prospect or prospect who are very likely to. And it's not
Right.
very far from what we're doing anyway in terms of reducing the list for getting more reply and getting, better reply rate rather than, expanding the list and going. So you keep on slicing it, but this time you don't stop at just cold prospect, you slice it even more. And I think that's, now the question would be, should we actually work from the bottom of the funnel to the top in those situations? Or should we keep on working from the top to the bottom?
I think
or have two initiatives, one that goes this one down the bottom, and the other one that's sort of like recycled by going back up.
Yeah.
Like
I have an interesting take on this now, Jeremy.
Cool.
And that is, do not work at the top until you have perfected the bottom. And I'll tell you why. Let's say you find more leads through ice cold outreach. You're going to want to have a process that's going to stay in touch with them at every step of the selling process, especially if you don't have a one-day close cycle. You're going to want to have a script for scheduling the call, and then something that gets sent after them.
An offer that works as well.
Yeah, an offer that works, and then maybe a newsletter. Should they say, I need some more time? Great. You want to have something built in so that they don't forget about you. You want to have, and working your way up, you might want to have some website content or videos that you can point them to establish more credibility, authority. And then you're ready to go after like ice cold prospect. And that sounds weird, right? Like this is the cold outreach show. But I kind of think it's helpful to have all that stuff built out from the bottom up, because you'll need it. And then two, most importantly, your next sales are going to come from the bottom of the pyramid. Have that figured out, because that's the low-hanging fruit. Do the follow-up that you do so well with your cold prospects on the ones that are considering pulling the trigger with you right now. I mean, it's obvious, right? Maybe.
I don't know. Like, just at some point, when you're going the other way around, you obviously work with less people, and sure. But once you got those 10 prospects already upselling, like, if you have like 10 clients and they already upsell, then do you find a new upsell, or do you, you know what I mean? So I think you need to work both directions, and maybe they have different roles. But I think that both directions need to be worked out.
So let me just clarify. You need to fill your funnel if you want to keep growing.
Yeah.
But there are some simple activities, like we just talked about. How do you close a sale in one day? Just look, there's a few people, not a lot, that deserve a phone follow-up or a text message.
Quarterly effort, or a monthly effort, whatever. Yeah.
Right. And so please do that now. Like it's a very quick win. And then once you do that, go back to nurturing the top and middle parts of your funnel, so that next week you can do the same process again. Right. Like I think there's a lot of focus on the top of the funnel. And for me personally, I sort of like, I was at a place where I was like, okay, I'm the cold outreach guy, right? So it's very natural to me to go find ice cold prospects that may have never heard of our podcasts or SalesBread or our results. And then I had to stop and say, wait a minute, that's not going to win the let's close the sale today game.
Today.
I don't know if that makes sense, Jeremy. Am I communicating both are important, but the order might change?
I mean, it depends where you are in your business when you're starting. Definitely start with the bottom anyway. Like, you need to find, people that are in your close network, rather than just trying to like, hey, let me buy some Google ads and then see if people, total strangers, will click on my offer and then get to my website and then get me. So you need to start from, the closest one. But as we're going, then usually we tend to put processes in place to have acquisition automated. And like you say, at some point, it's the value of, of your existing network, whether it's through your list, whether it's your past clients, whether it's your current clients. And I think it is undervalued. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So then worthwhile topic then, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
And I'm kind of like putting myself in the hot seat here because to be honest, SalesBread's been lucky. We haven't had to do, we haven't had like the week's ending. We need to get the next customer meet. So we've always had the luxury of like having a lot of people come to us and say, hey, Jack, like it'd be great. A lot of podcast listeners love working with you guys. And because of that, we had this top of the funnel always filled. And we got pretty lazy on the bottom side because we're like, all right, well, whether we follow up, we have, this much more coming next week. So a client of mine, Mary, shout out to you. She made her full year with SalesBread this month, which is beautiful. Yeah. Nice. Glad to work with you, Mary. You rule. Now, she asked, like kind of jokingly, because she runs a sales team in addition to her company, but she was like, what kind of processes do you have in place? Like, let's say we had our call and I just ghosted you. Do you have like a trigger that would follow up with me every 72 hours, something like, how do you do it? And I laughed. I said, Mary, I don't have any. Probably would just work with the next person. And, she's like, you're a surfer bum. Like, why don't you get a real job, Jack? And the joke is that there's obvious stuff that you put in place. Even if you have incoming top of funnel, it still is much faster to remind yourself, go back to the bottom. Is that good? Okay, great. Now you can.
Yeah, I think it's a helpful reminder, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. And so that's it, Jeremy. I don't know what to even call this idea. Working the bottom of the funnel, perhaps.
Are you trying to coin something here?
No, not at all, because it's too simple to coin. It's just like, hey, if you're doing outbound, keep doing it. But real quick check-in from the Cold Email Outreach podcast. Are you doing a perfect job with the bottom part of your funnel? Yeah. Jeremy coined something, or don't coin it, but like, what's the thing? What is this?
I don't know.
The obvious?
No, I don't think it's obvious. I think it's very hard. It's very hard to put in place. But then we start talking about like business. How do we organize our company? What type of initiatives do we have in place? Because I think
no. That's
you wouldn't do that as a company of 300 people. You'll have like certain roles, people who look at just the cold outreach and people who look at just the existing customers. You wouldn't have that person trying to do everything.
Yeah, but somebody or some team would say, okay, maybe marketing would say, great, like let's build out flows for every single scenario. So my question to you,
account managers will just try to constantly upsell.
So maybe we could spend the last part of the cast having you briefly describe what you might do in that situation. You got QuickMail pulled up and you've got, let's say, 3 common scenarios. So someone books a call, somebody needs more time, and somebody purchases. Like, what would you actually do to make sure they're handled properly?
Yeah, so no, this is a good question. And I had to think about this. And bear in mind, the role of a business owner is pretty much to figure out where to allocate the resources for the best return in that sense. We don't do nearly enough follow-up on people like we have our database. The idea at the moment is to keep them in our ecosystem. And so they have an understanding, they have an exposure to QuickMail. We're trying to do some really good events and so on. So QuickMail is always at the top of mind, but we don't follow up. We don't recontact past clients. We don't do all those sort of like bottom things. We could do that, but that's not the priority for us this year. Our priority for us this year is acquisition. So top
maybe we can just simplify it then.
But we don't need to do a sales today. And I think that's the whole point of it as well. So we are putting our systems one by one, right? It's very different from a service type where you're working with a set number of people and then you need a sale to happen faster, or you would prefer to work with your past clients, right? They could also happen and say like, hey, a new slot's been open. I could go and find someone else, but I enjoyed working with you last year. Do you think there's an opportunity this year too? And I think that's part of like maintaining your network.
So
we don't do that. Yeah.
I'm just curious though, Jeremy. Let's say a listener said, "Well, help me get started with this." Mm-hmm. Like from a technical perspective, what tool? I mean, please,
you could use QuickMail. We use QuickMail as well for recontacting our own clients. We had a price increase a few months back, and we used QuickMail to contact our existing clients. So you could use a drip email campaign tool. You don't have to.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to drip email to cold prospect. You can call to your own existing one.
Okay, so then pick this apart. Let me tell you how I would set this up, and you tell me if it's good. So,
all right, cool.
Let's say I'm going to use Zapier and I'm going to use QuickMail, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, Zapier, every time a sales call is booked, send me a message on Slack 24 hours after, and make me do a step where it's like, what happened? Is this a deal? Need more time? No, forever. Right? And let's say if I select needs more time, they automatically get dumped into a campaign in QuickMail that's set in 4 days, right? In 4 days, they get an email saying, just checking in, you had asked for a little bit more time. How's blah, blah, blah.
Love it. But
and then maybe one follow-up.
If I may interrupt you on this one, the funny thing is, I think without necessarily knowing or realizing it, you just fixed one of the biggest problem, which is remembering after the call to just like go and do note taking. But it's something else, like a trigger, in Zapier or in Slack, just remind you, hey, you had this call with this guy. Is it worth following with this?
Should
I start this sequence, or don't do anything? I think it's awesome. Honestly, I'd love to have that in place. It's pretty quick to put in place too. So I love it.
So like technically, it would probably be like go into QuickMail and select yes or no. If attribute equals yes or no, then the campaign will either start or not
you
start.
Could do that this way. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then you'd have a couple follow-ups, and then that would be the answer to my client, Mary, who was like, what happens when this call gets delayed, the decision gets pushed back? That would happen.
Yeah. I really love it. The automation to remind me, hey, you had a call.
Right. Yeah.
It's so annoying to go into the CRM and then write all those notes and so on. And, I'm not a full-time salesperson. This is not my role. This is not my interest either. So, but that's a good idea. I like that. That's something I would take away.
All right, Jeremy. I think that does the conversation justice, even though we haven't been able to coin a topic for it.
Well, if you need a sale today, work from the bottom of the funnel first, and then that's it. Pretty much. I think what you did a pretty good job at layering all the different pieces, where I would have skipped a few steps, but not because they're not good, just because it's hard to see all those steps. So that was really good.
There's a section in the Gary Albert letters where he talks about purchasing a list, and he describes, let's say you were trying to sell jewelry by mail. There are list brokers who can provide you with a list of, let's say, wealthy neighborhoods to mail this out to. And that'd be better than just a random phone book search. And then he's like, but let's go deeper. You could find a list of wealthy neighborhoods that subscribe to magazines on jewelry. Okay, nice. A little bit better. And then he keeps going. I'll skip a few, but basically he goes, then you could find a list of wealthy neighborhoods that subscribe to magazines on jewelry and that have purchased jewelry by mail before. He's like, that's pretty good, but let's get better. All of that. And they have purchased jewelry by mail recently in the last 60 days. That's very good. Now, the last level for him was you have a list of people in the right neighborhoods that have purchased jewelry by mail recently from you, and you can't get better than that. These are and the point was
from you. Yeah.
It's so important to mentally filter down the list, and it applies to inbound just like it does to outbound. And I had a lot of fun putting them together in today's podcast. So
Yeah, thanks.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Boom.
And if you like the conversation, course.quickmail.io has the next chapter, or chapters, if you will. It's the deep dive. Do check it out. People like it. And we love to hear good things about the course. So if you're enjoying it, course.quickmail.io is where you can share your testimonial. We'll throw it on the landing page.
That's right.
Anything else, Jeremy, before we close out?
No, you're saying everything right. I don't have anything else to say. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay, well, it's a lot of fun. Thanks, Jeremy. Bye.
Thanks, Jack.